Again, perfect.
Wow.
Again.
Round 2.
Oh, your knee, bro. Your knee. Your knee.
What
Fix
do you
it.
What do
Fix
you want
it.
me
I
to do
want you to
about it?
fix it. I
There's
want you to fix it.
literally
Here, let me
no
just.
space
I just
here.
gotta
There's
sit
no space.
like a
no space.
person giving birth.
We need a better setup.
Welcome back to the throne room. Today I'm joined by my best friend Austin Hotch. But my what?
I don't know.
My best friend Boston Hotchkiba. Welcome back to
Can
the
we
throne
fix
room.
that in post?
We'll fix it in post. Thank you so much for joining
Austin
us.
Hotchkiss here.
Hey, this is my
Sorry,
thing.
go ahead.
Thank you so much for joining us. Back in San Antonio, I'm leaving tomorrow, so we don't know. We're just gonna go back and forth here. I really don't know what's going on. Happy Easter, also. He is risen. Shout out to my Lord and Savior
The
Jesus
goat.
Christ.
The real goat,
Yeah,
for being
the
honest.
OG, the OG. Austin, how are you? I missed you.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Why you said that like a robot? Are you okay?
No, I'm doing
I
good.
am doing well.
There's a gun over here. That's what you don't see. I'm just forced.
Hey, Jerry.
No, yeah, we don't have the money to pay for a hitman.
Among the latest times we've recorded this, I think this is pretty.
This is up there.
The start time usually is around like 12, but it's like 1:30, 1:40 right now. This is insane.
This is a late one. Actually, the bonus one that we did was around this time.
Yeah, it was pretty late, and we just it was all over the place.
Superman talk.
All over the place.
All over.
Superman's a beast, dude. I'll tell you what, he's just I love him. How can you not love that dude?
No, he's pretty
Oh
good.
God, he's so
I think
good.
a lot
He's
of
so
people
pretty.
have a problem with his overpoweredness, but I think it's kind of cool.
Yo.
The concept of just
I really do understand the argument that people make that like Batman could beat him. I get it.
right.
Because
Well,
if he has
it's because
kryptonite,
Batman's so smart.
if he has kryptonite and he uses it well, and he literally builds a tank around himself with
right.
kryptonite knuckles and kryptonite bow and arrow and a
Right.
spear and whatever he wants. I mean, he'd shoot like a blow dart. I mean, he really couldn't because Superman would know that
Right.
a blow dart's coming at him. But I don't know.
It's
I get
crazy.
the argument though because it's like
he just sits in a
he's
bunker and
overpowered.
It's like what's kryptonite or what's
Yeah.
Superman gonna
Yeah,
do?
so it's like he's overpowered,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's a way to get around it. Before we continue, there's big news coming for the show
Big.
regarding our first sponsor. Once we get the details, once we get the actual product sent to my apartment, we'll let y'all know about it. It's a great company, and they do some great things for the entire world. So we'll keep you updated on that. So anyway, first sponsor of the show. That's a big milestone. Milestone.
That's
Yeah.
big.
It's pretty dope. So I'm excited. I know all of you are going to be excited. Speaking of being excited, how was quarantined Easter?
Oh. Lit. No, I mean it was good.
That's fine.
I mean we just watched church on the TV over here.
Shout out to Ed Newton. Come on the show.
Yeah, shout out to Ed.
Shout out to Ed Newton.
But I mean, you just watch church. It's weird because it's like, I think that's one of the bigger, like, I think Christmas service is cool. I think Easter service is just like, there's just different environment because it's like when you're really celebrating like the finale,
Yeah.
if you will, like the point that makes the Christian faith even really like worth following is
The
that
resurrection.
moment.
For sure.
And so I think that's like, I think that makes Easter like like everybody involved is like not happier, but it's just this like knowing that it's like it's finished. Like
Yeah.
it kind of sounds
It's all,
cliche or whatever,
yeah,
but
it is finished.
but
Well, we're talking about 2 days in the church world that anyone, whether you're nominal or not, like you
Right.
go to church. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
Even if you're not even if you have no idea like what Christianity is about, you go to
it
church.
just feels right.
Now,
yeah.
hot take.
Yeah.
This might not be a hot take, but I think I think the Christmas service is more of my favorite.
Okay. I mean, I can get that. I think Christmas has a really cool, like, nostalgia.
I just
and
love
like
Christmas, dude.
Christmas is an awesome time. And
dude.
It's like, there's cookies, there's, you
Oh,
know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, not even just that. I mean, it's like the presents, just the environment, the food, the random, hot chocolate and hot apple cider and you know what I mean? Just like all the stuff that's involved in it. Lights everywhere, people getting together, coming from all over the place. I think it's cool. I think Easter, it's just a different kind of like the season isn't as big, I guess, is one of the things.
Yeah, there's
like
not.
I think that Christmas builds it up. You know what I mean? Like everybody in the media and stuff,
Yeah.
like it makes it so much more like socially, it's like, I mean, this is the
It
time
is.
to celebrate.
Yeah, it is a bigger deal.
But I think that like as a Christian,
Like everything is themed Christmas. Not everything is themed Easter.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think for me,
Like Home Depot has Christmas decorations.
right? Yeah,
They don't
no,
have
yeah,
Easter decorations.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
It's a
I think
fact.
for me, it's like as a Christian, I think. I mean, imagine like, Star Wars. Like watching, so you watch Star Wars, right? And it's like when Luke figures out that Vader is his father, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, yo, what? Like, you're tripping, right? But when you're a kid, I mean, like, we kind of grew up and it wasn't as, like, for us, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you think about, like, Easter, you think about Good Friday, Jesus is dead.
Mm-hmm.
All the disciples are like, yo, we're screwed, right? And then all of a sudden, he does exactly what he said. I mean, 3 days later. But anyways, there's explanation to that because it's technically 2. But anyways, so he comes back, and you're like, yo. I mean, you think about that, like, following it on that timeline. You know what I'm saying? Like, living it would be insane. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
I can't imagine those times.
I mean, Christmas itself would also be insane, but
Christmas
like
would be
living
insane.
living that Easter time where you're freaking out and then there he is, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I always wonder. Of course, there's always those people that are like, "Oh my gosh, I was born in the wrong century. I was born in the wrong era." It's like, yo, we have it so good. This is the best time to be alive.
Right.
This is the best time in human history to be alive. Imagine,
Yeah.
Before technology, before the internet, before anything, before Netflix,
Yeah.
before any of that. Imagine being quarantined right now. What would you be doing? And if you didn't have like random books laying around, what would you do?
Right.
What would you do?
I think we're also gonna see.
And there's no like Postmates. There's no like Uber Eats. You can't order food
Right.
to your house. What do you do in that situation?
not a lot. I don't.
And a lot of jobs that are prospering right now are internet jobs. So there'd be even more people laid off.
Oh yeah.
So we're living in the best time in human history at the moment.
I
It's the
think-
weirdest time.
I think it would also.
But-
I think we're gonna live through some of the weirdest things.
It's gonna be so weird.
I think that honestly, like, it's just I don't know. I think it's gonna be a really
Every day is just getting closer to just weird.
I think it's
like
just getting
AI.
closer to like straight up like the end. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
sure. I mean,
that's
yeah, every day
obvious.
comes
That's
closer
gonna
to the end,
happen,
obviously.
obviously. But I think
Good
like
point.
I think closer than we like truly think. I think
Yeah.
it's like very, very close in
Yeah.
my personal opinion.
Yeah, who
Humble
knows?
Austin Hotchkiss opinion.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I'm just chilling. You know what I mean? Living out my life, but like. It could happen tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Could.
That's the thing.
Could
That's the
happen.
crazy thing about
Could
it.
happen in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's whack.
People have been saying that forever, though. So,
No, I mean that's a fact.
I think that you just gotta continue to take
It's just true. I mean, that's
continue
why-
to take every day, day
by
by
day,
day. There
yeah.
you go.
I think that Paul wrote a letter. I can't remember which one it is, but he's like reaming the church for their lack of, like they're living it because I mean there's talk of the end, it being the last days or whatever all throughout the New Testament, but like he's on them. He's like, what?
I've always
What are
thought
you
about.
doing?
I've always
Because
thought
they're just
about
not
like
living
for
their
the
life.
for those people back then, like when they heard Jesus say that he's gonna come again, they're so like narrow-minded. Like they think it's gonna happen in like their lifetime or like
like
their kid's lifetime.
20 minutes.
And
Yeah.
then 2,000 years later, we're still
Yeah.
out here
Yeah,
in these
it's crazy.
streets. You know
That's
what I
I'm
mean?
saying. So he literally writes them, and he's like, "Don't live it as if he's coming tomorrow. Like, don't
Yeah.
like live that way, but don't like just give up. Don't stop working and stuff. Like,
Yeah, like
don't be idle.
they weren't thinking
Yeah.
that like. I guess obviously
They weren't
it's
thinking that
obvious.
another 2,000
Yeah,
years would
they
be lived,
they
yeah.
thought it was just like right around the corner.
Yeah.
And I guess relative to time, it is just right around the corner.
Right.
Like the people that we've lost already in our lifetime. Like when we die and go to heaven, they're gonna be like, oh, we just saw you.
Yeah.
It's not gonna like because time for them is just it doesn't exist.
Right.
It's just everything's eternity. So
Whack.
for like if it's if we see like our parents again and say we die when we're 80,
Right.
that's basically a lifetime. That's
Right.
80 something years, but for them it's like
Yeah.
It's like
It's
it's just
weird.
like they blink their eyes and here we are.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's
It's
such a
weird.
weird thing to. Time is the weirdest thing.
Time is trippy.
It's the weirdest
Well, 'cause
thing.
It's like if you think about like time here would pass differently than time on like Mars. You know what I mean? Like
It would. That's true. It would also. It would also. It would also. It would also. This is when Einstein figured out relativity.
Mm-hmm.
It would also change on how fast you're going.
What do you mean?
This is the basic model that,
Right.
that Einstein when he figured out relativity, this is where he was. So
Right.
he was on a train.
Mm-hmm.
And before the train started moving, he was watching a clock, I don't know if it was Big Bend. I don't know
Okay.
if it was, but it was a clock on like a tower.
Right.
And he was watching it tick. He was just thinking there, staring at it, kind of staring off into nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, the train started moving and accelerating very, very fast.
Right.
And all of a sudden, that second tick started slowing down.
Okay.
So then he figured out that time is relative to how fast you're going.
Right.
So that's sort of where he figured out relativity, and then he figured out that gravity is associated with it and mass and all that good stuff. Yeah,
It's weird.
he's a genius, man. Shout out to
Well, yeah.
Einstein. Come on the
I
show.
mean, he's literally on.
Come
He's
on the show.
literally on the spectrum of the IQ test, so I
yeah.
would assume
Oh,
he's
yeah.
pretty smart.
I wonder what my IQ is.
Yeah.
Can you take a test
I don't
online?
think I want to find it. I don't know. I don't think I want to find out what my IQ
Yeah, I don't know if I want to either. What if it's like a 40?
It's like 0.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Or what's like standard? Do you know the standard IQ?
I could look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Also,
I think
breaking
isn't
news- not
like
breaking news.
140.
Oh, I don't know, but I know I know people can get up to like into the 240s.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The highest IQs are in like the 220s to 240s. I know because there was this girl on TikTok that did this thing. She was a feminist, right? So she did this thing where she was like, "Why? How
How
come?"
many tests a score of 100 is considered the average IQ? 68% of scores fall within one standard deviation of the mean. That is
Okay.
between 85 and 115. That means that nearly 70% of all people score within plus or minus 15 points of the average score.
Okay. So standard deviation is 15.
It's considered a good. Oh well, I mean that's the same answer. People
Or
are
no,
out here.
only
People are
70%.
out here going, "Is a 120 good?"
It's not bad.
It's pretty.
Okay, so some lady on TikTok was like, the smartest person in the world had the highest IQ was a woman or someone, and then somebody like, how they can duet it.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy duetted it, and he was like, this isn't a political statement, but this is just pure false. I mean, I looked it up on Google. It took me less than a minute, and I figured out there's 3 dudes above this girl who have higher IQs than this chick. So she's number 4 on the list. Just so everybody who think it's not a political statement, just this is truth. So I'm not saying that women are less smart than men. The studies have actually shown that there's no difference between intelligence between men and women. So
A score over 160 is considered genius.
dang.
Is 200 IQ good?
Well, if you have to ask that question, do you have a 200
Okay,
IQ?
I just saw one that was really funny. This is actually really funny. It says, "How test your IQ?"
Yeah, they have
like-
a 4.
Okay, yeah, the grammar. If there's
Yeah.
like different sections, the grammar section you just tank.
Yeah,
Your
it's
IQ's
whatever.
gone.
What are you gonna do?
Can I-
So for some of you, maybe some of you have heard this or not, depending on when this comes out. We'll figure it out. But we finished watching the Chernobyl series,
Mm-hmm.
and if you haven't watched that, go check it out. Because that's something that happened.
crazy.
And it 40 years ago, but that's still really not that long
Just
ago.
like 20 years ago.
No, 40 years. It's 40 years ago, but I mean, that wasn't really that long ago. And there's still a buttload of radiation. And guess what? There's wildfires out here
Wildfires
in
and-
Kiev and Chernobyl, right inside the exclusion zone.
It's insane.
So or the exclusion zone. Did I say inclusion zone?
I don't know.
Exclusion zone. Yeah, whatever. I
don't know
I
what
can't
time it
remember
is.
what's going on. What's happening to
What
me?
is it?
I don't know. But right inside the exclusion zone, meaning that's the area that they've allotted that nobody's allowed to go because there's so much radiation and it's not
Now
safe
it's burning.
for all life. Now it's burning, and for those of you who don't understand why that's
Radiation.
a problem, that obviously heat rises into the air and it's carried by ash, and then the wind takes that into
Right.
places that are civilized.
What was he saying? He was saying per hour, it was like 2 nuclear bombs going off.
Yeah, every hour
so-
on the hour. Yeah,
And
something
so
like that.
by the time that they had,
I want to say it
even
was more than
begun-
2.
I think he said 2. So because it was high, like 2 nuclear bombs is.
It's very high, but I think it was even more than
I
that.
thought it was 2 because then he said by the time it was like they started finally working on it, or he finally made it or whatever within 20 hours or whatever, and by the time he got there and everything, he said that like 40 bombs had gone
Yeah.
off or whatever, and I was like,
Yeah. It's insane. And that radiation is going to be here for another 60 years. So it's nuts. It is insane. So there's literally, I mean, I think the nearest city is Kiev or somewhere in there. I don't really know my geography,
Well, and then
my
they had
Eastern
that
geography,
crazy-
but I mean, there's millions of people that are
that
living there.
crazy part where like, which I don't know how true it was, but like that one city that, because that girl was like, that woman was like not real. She was
Bro, yeah.
a manifestation of like several other. They just made it into one person or whatever
Mm-hmm.
that helped. But anyway, she like, found that where they like wiped the window, and the radiation 40 kilometers away. No, they were further than that, and it was like they were getting like ratings that were way high, like
Yeah.
radiation that would
It's-
mess with you, kind of.
It's not,
crazy.
I mean, it's
so
not
insane,
like
dude.
we're not supposed to have that in our planet, you know? But so it's nuts.
But a campfire is what's ruining the ozone.
Oh, yeah.
You know that, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, for
Just a
sure.
basic campfire.
Yeah, just a campfire.
And also a cow fart is the problem as well. So, but they've been. But I mean, we let's not talk about the Freon and the nuclear bombs and the
no,
other
no,
ways that.
no.
I mean,
no.
let's not talk about the.
Well, luckily there
accelerated
hasn't
within the past
been
50
anything
years.
crazy like Chernobyl in the last 40 years, but
Oh.
doesn't mean it can't happen again.
Hey Jimmy, don't make a campfire. Just want you to know, little Jimmy, you and your dad can't go make a campfire.
I will say this, and I'm a pretty. I mean, I don't want to sound like an idiot here,
Right.
but I'm a conservative libertarian. Okay,
Right.
so I'm pretty conservative.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I did hear Elon Musk
Yeah.
talk about the climate, and he's the most apolitical dude.
Yeah.
He has no political motives. He stays out of politics.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, this is a crazy experiment that we're doing to our planet."
Yeah.
Like, so after I heard Elon Musk talk about it, and I know that's a logical fallacy,
Right.
to say that just because he said it that everything about
Right.
climate change is true. But I will
He
say,
also runs a company that the batteries alone are like what are they going to do with them? The waste of those batteries is ungodly.
oh no, he's talking about just like the carbon emissions.
Oh,
Yeah, he was just talking about the carbon emissions. But yeah, I mean, you're right.
I've also heard, I don't know, I was listening to Ben Shapiro on, I was listening, Logan Paul's podcast, and, dude, I don't even know. The guy was going off, though. He was,
Yeah.
he was talking about, how carbon emissions, because they're talking about how, large corporations are the problem and stuff like that, and he was just saying all these stats. I can't even get into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I'm really not smart enough. I was
Yeah.
just trying to be dumb, but, he really just went off. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to hear what he has to say about that. Because as of right now, like I said, Elon Musk, not a political dude, has no motive to say, because most of the time when politicians say that, Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
he's lobbying for climate change because he's getting kickbacks politically. So
Right.
normally when people say that kind of stuff, it's because they have
They have a
monetary
motive.
incentive
Right.
to back a certain party. But
Right.
Elon Musk has no monetary
care.
incentive for any political party
Yeah.
ever. But he is saying he's working with hundreds and thousands of scientists every day. hundreds of thousands. That's kind of an exaggeration, but
Right.
a lot of SpaceX, Tesla, like really smart engineers that know what they're talking about. And he says there's a huge consensus that the
I mean, I
carbon
think that,
emissions
like,
aren't great.
I think that we've definitely done some things that are like, I don't disagree that there's some sort of climate change, but the question is always raised is like, is it a problem of what we're doing? You know what or I mean, at least for not climate. Well, you know what I mean. Like
Yeah,
the
if
whole,
it's
like,
is it
the
human
different heat and
caused?
things. Is it human cause or is it just a natural dip in rate? Because I mean, you think about it. We haven't been. It's not like we've been tracking like the changes in temperature and things for like a super long time. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, is it natural or is it? It probably isn't. Honestly, if we're being honest with each other.
The climate has changed many times.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think, without a shadow of a doubt, like the carbon emissions have been going up a lot since. I mean, that's been tracked. I don't know if that's what's causing the climate change per se, but that's a fact.
Right. I think also so many chemicals that are not meant to be released, and especially in like large quantities. You know what I mean? Or I mean, we didn't even understand half of what was going on. Like in the 50s and the 60s and stuff, and all the like I said. I mean, one thing was like Freon and like all these different just crazy. It was just like.
Yeah, we're dumping all sorts of stuff everywhere.
Crazy, and then I mean the nuclear bombs and the that were tested, and then the crazy. You've got things like Chernobyl, and then things like in Japan when that whole mess happened with the tsunami, and I mean it's just insane. So I mean it's like carbon emissions are high and stuff like that, but so many factors. You can't just put the Earth in a box and say it was this one thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, like it's crazy. I don't know what it is. I'm not a genius. I don't really track it either.
We don't have above 160 IQ. Yeah. I don't know what mine is, to be honest with you. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to hear some of the most interesting stories of your life.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a great question.
It's story time. Story time, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to tell me bedtime stories on the show right now. Yeah. You tuned in for bedtime stories because that's the title of the show.
We don't have any. There's not a prompt besides that.
What?
There's not.
I don't know.
You don't have any topic suggestions for people.
Oh no, we've covered all the ones that I got. I didn't ask any this week. I didn't ask for any topic suggestions this week.
True.
So, but anyway, yeah. That's what we're going.
One?
I'm trying to think. No, but you know what? Okay, here's what I wanted to talk about.
Here we go.
Okay, so did I tell you? I think I told you this. I don't know. I don't remember if I told you this.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a TikTok of a YouTube video.
Okay.
And I think it was fake. Let me preface this.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that it was fake.
Right.
Because it looked staged.
Right.
And it looked like it was actors. However, it freaked me out a little bit. Right. So I guess these dudes have a YouTube channel and I don't know, they make videos or whatever. So they ordered, I guess they went on the dark web somewhere and they ordered somebody to play a mom role.
Yeah, you told me about this.
Okay, so let me kind of, I don't know how much I said. Let me explain what all I witnessed. And I wish I could find this video again. But so they order, I guess on the dark web you can order somebody to play the role of your mom, which is a weird thing, and I don't even know if that's legal or illegal.
So now we got mommy issues going on up in
here. I guess. But anyway, so the video starts off and it's for some reason the house is all dark, by the way, which is why I think it was staged, because why would you have all the lights off in your house when you're about to do this video? Right. Doesn't make any sense. So they open the door and it's this kind of frail white woman, black hair. She's in a sundress, and she's not. Again, she's frail, kind of skinny, and she just walks in the door, and is staring. And they blur her eyes. You can just see her mouth. And so doesn't say a name, doesn't introduce, just is kind of just stands there, and they're like, "Hello, we understand that you're a mom, right? Quote unquote." Or I guess she plays the role or whatever. And she's just staring off into a hallway with her mouth open, just Like I don't know. Again, I can't see her eyes. I just see like her mouth or whatever.
Just staring
off.
So weird.
And then she's very sporadic. So like they're kind of just like, what's going on?
Right.
And she's like, oh, you have a beautiful home. And then like stops talking, and they're like, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. How are you doing tonight? And she doesn't answer the question, and then she goes, oh, you have beautiful hair. Let mommy fix it for you. And then goes over to like this guy who's holding the camera and starts like playing with her hair, and everyone's like, hey, he's okay.
Right.
He's an adult. He can handle
Right.
his hair. He's fine.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay. Where's y'all boys kitchen? Y'all's boys? What is it?
Y'all's boys.
Y'all's.
You're.
Where's y'all's? She said
Where's
something
y'all's
about
kitchen?
boys.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I don't know, but yeah, she said, "Where's y'all's kitchen?" Basically, where's y'all's kitchen? Let me make you boys some sandwiches.
Right.
That was it. Let mommy whip you up some sandwiches. Again, for some reason they had no lights on in the house. So again, this is probably fake, but it freaked me out. Okay, so then she goes off down the hallway. I guess they didn't tell her where the kitchen was, so she just like walked off into the hallway, this dark hallway, and
that was
they
it?
were just standing in the yeah. So this is a stranger that they ordered, which, by the way, I want to get into this because this is wild.
There's no
okay?
way that's even legal.
Well, obviously
I think they
not.
probably
But
filmed
okay,
it
but
on
you
the-
can go on Craigslist and find some weird stuff too. I guarantee you, if you go on Craigslist right now, you can find someone to play like your mom,
Yeah.
and that would be legal.
Craigslist is crazy though.
But I think it's because like, it's on the dark web that it's like
That's
illegal.
what's
But
so-
this chick is weird, bro.
What's
So
so weird is like letting somebody know where you live from like
and opening
something like that
your
is-
door for them to
No.
walk in and play your mom. What do you even do if you play a mom? Like you want to do laundry? I mean, just get a girlfriend if you want to
Right.
do. But again, this is like they're doing this for views, and idiots like me watching get scared. See, that's the stuff that scares me.
that's crazy.
Because number one, she's not acting normal. She's acting like she's on some sort of drugs, or like she's been like abused and left in like a closet for all of her life, which is another thing I want to get into, but we'll get into it.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, that scares me the most. So like demons are kind of scary, but I'm not like afraid of demons because they can't touch me, dog.
Right.
I mean, they can touch me, but they won't because I
Right.
got the Holy Spirit.
Right.
So they're not gonna.
I think
they're not gonna do that.
I think demons like I just don't even like that. I think that's why the demonic aspect of like some horror movies is kind of like I don't enjoy because it's like I don't even like to entertain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I
the
will
thought
say
or
I will
the-
say a lot of it is like not even close to real.
no,
Like
I
it's
mean,
all
yeah,
Hollywood.
but
it's just
I
like
think
gore.
it's also this thing where it's like it brings
Sneeze.
it allows this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, keep going. I'm sneezing. You know what I mean? You feel
it
me?
just allows like I don't know like the Ouija board thing.
That's not a
don't like
movie.
that, but I'm
You
saying-
wouldn't. You don't
I'm not
mess with
saying
that.
I'm saying like some movies, it's like they like kind of similar to a Ouija board. They just allow this like, and there's whether you want to believe it or not. I mean, I think there's a lot of. I don't think they have.
Jeez.
They obviously don't have as much power as like God and stuff like that. But I think that they also are very. I mean, more powerful than I am, that's for sure, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a person. And I think
Yeah.
that, like, when you introduce some of those things, I think that it can get in your head more than you would think. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm just saying.
I see what you're saying.
Kind of. I don't even like to entertain it. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
from
So I kind of
from
avoid
my
that
experience,
stuff,
like
that's all
I've watched all the movies.
Right.
I've seen all the demonic horror, all the possession, exorcism, whatever, blah blah blah. It's
Right.
all Hollywood,
Right.
and I get what you're saying, but to a degree, like. This is gonna sound weird. It's not that it's gonna sound weird,
Right.
but I just feel like all you have to do, at least all I've had to do, and the only like weird experience I've had is when I watched like the original Exorcist. But other than that, and I don't know if I've told that on this show before, but we can talk about it. But let me finish this point. So, like, I'm not scared of that kind of stuff because all I have to do is just like either pray or just say the name Jesus, and
Right.
literally there's such peace just from that.
Yeah.
So if I
Which, I
even
mean,
get
I
freaked
agree,
out
but-
about anything, like if I ever, which I don't anymore, but if I were to watch a movie, if I was like 11 and it freaked me out and I was like, ooh, that was, I feel like dark and I feel like like, all I would do is just, okay,
Right.
but Jesus is my homie,
Right.
and he's in my room,
Yeah.
and he's watching over me with these guardian angels that would beat the crap out of anything unworldly. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I get what you're saying. Like, it's not like you're not that you're playing with fire, but you would rather ingest something edifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to that argument, I understand, because that's a command in the Bible. You
Right.
know, fill yourself with things that are holy and edifying and of
Right.
the Lord, and not.
And
Get that.
I've watched stuff that's like, I probably shouldn't have watched that. Like movies
Yeah.
and stuff where it's like,
I get that.
that was just dumb.
I get
don't
that
know why I
too.
watched that, but I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of horror movies. I think it's just like, why watch something that the sole purpose is just to scare the crap out of me?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd rather watch an action movie or a comedy or
Yeah.
something about a superhero, or I like
I love those
thrillers,
too.
or you know what I mean, like I like the kind of intense,
Yeah.
like Seven is a good movie, because I think as disturbing as some of them are, I think it's like I don't know, just that intensity of like, and then you're kind of like, yo, what's gonna happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Seven has some really dark stuff in it.
But I'm
but
saying,
that's what I
it's
mean.
like, it's not a thriller, that's not what I'm looking for. It's more of like just like a I can't think of the word
I
right
think
now.
it is a thriller.
It might be a thriller, but like
100%.
what's another word? There's another word for it. It's not a horror. It's a
Suspense.
like a suspenseful. Yeah, just that feeling of like the whole time you're kind of tense.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like, yo.
Well,
what?
so like that kind of stuff, and like this whole thing with this like mommy role play thing, whatever, that's on the dark web, like that stuff freaks me out more than anything.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like
'Cause it's
anything
kinda real.
spiritual, yeah. Well, not that anything spiritual isn't real. That's
Right.
not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that like.
It's like in your face. It's
Yeah,
like,
well, it's like
something that
it
you
could
see.
happen to
Right.
me, you know? Like the chances of me seeing a ghost are way lower than me being like robbed or, some weird person like stalking me or my family. Cuz that happens way more. Like not that this is the same thing, but like there's still a lot of girls that I know that have been catcalled just walking around on campus. Like that stuff's more scary for them obviously than like seeing Freddy Krueger
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
Getting possessed by a demon. There's way less documenting cases in the United States of demon possession,
Yeah.
like at least recorded,
Right.
than there are being catcalled
Yeah.
or being stalked or.
Well, especially, you make a good point. Like, especially if you are a Christian, I don't think that you're typically gonna be like possessed.
Yeah,
you
I
know
would.
what I'm
I
saying?
would be. If this is why I said this. If I wasn't saved and I had no
I think it'd be a lot
knowledge
scarier.
of Jesus. I had no knowledge of the saving grace
Right.
of of Easter, the whole point of today.
Mhm.
If I had no knowledge of that, I would be a little more
Yeah, I think
more
that'd
scared.
be scarier. Yeah.
Because then you're vulnerable, dude. You're all
Right.
open. There's nothing covering you. There's nothing you have no power. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't,
I think that's a good point.
and you wouldn't know to even say the name Jesus.
Yeah.
So if something were like that to happen, you're left vulnerable.
I think
And
you
then at
also
that
have
point,
no
you are weaker.
Right, and I think you also have no explanation of what.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if it is a demon, like, what? How are you gonna know it's a demon?
yeah.
You know what
It's
I mean?
true.
That's kinda-
So, do you want to hear the weird thing about The Exorcist?
what's the weird thing?
All right. So first of all, I'll go into this movie after seeing all the other movies that came out recently about like demonic possession, and they're all the same. Okay, they're all just, it starts off with subtle signs, right? And then
Right.
all of a sudden it's just gory, gory, gory. Just like it's all the same movie. And Hollywood, it's just a cash grab, okay?
Yeah.
And they're not using like real, they're not using documented, like real life evidence of like what these things are. They get pretty close, I guess, but the weird thing about The Exorcist was that it wasn't like that.
Right.
It wasn't like that at all. It was very like real. For me made in the 70s, I was more scared of that than I was the other ones that have modern technology.
Yeah.
And they used pea soup as their animations. Okay? So,
Jeez.
yeah.
That's one with the
as-
girl that's
yeah,
like
yeah,
sitting in the
as-
bed, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just,
yeah.
like, freaking out.
Yeah, and she's yeah. So I finished watching that movie and I'm like, that was a really, I say the word good, but it was a good horror movie. Like it did its job. If you're
Right.
trying to get scared, it did its job. but more so that it was just dark. It wasn't really scary, obviously,
Right.
but it was more dark. It made you feel heavy, you know? And so, and I usually don't feel like that at all. I can sleep 9 hours, after watching something that is like new horror, because it's like, okay, that can't be real. That's too
Yeah.
much. Like, this just looked very real.
Yeah.
And so I go to bed and I'm like, this one felt different.
Right.
Okay. So I go to bed and I have these two Bluetooth waterproof like speakers
Yeah.
that I used when I took a shower or whatever, And so they're not plugged into anything. They're just sitting like on a shelf I have over my desk. And all of a sudden I'm laying in bed. I can't fall asleep. And when you cut them on, there's like a switch in the back. When you cut them on, they make like a boop sound. And then when you cut them off, they go doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're both sitting there. And they both make very similar like noises. All of a sudden they just start cutting on and off. Both of them. Cutting on and off. Both of them.
That's weird.
So I'm sitting over there, and I remember I was laying on my back, right, looking at the ceiling, and my desk and everything is over here, so I can like look over at it, and I'm like watching them like because they light up when they turn on. So I'm watching them like cut on and cut off, and I'm like, that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
So I get up and I like turn both of them off.
Yeah.
Right, and I just like, all right, Holy Spirit, Jesus.
Right.
Protect me, whatever's going on right now, so I said a prayer and then I went to bed and I was fine.
Yeah.
But that was the only weird thing that happened. And I don't know if it was because of the movie or because of what, but it was very strange.
Yeah. I think
It's very strange.
I don't know what it is with demons and just like messing with audio. But like you say that, one time my cousin, they were having trouble with their house. Like it was just a really weird presence in the house, and like one time they literally saw this like dark figure in the corner one time. Just
No.
like him and his brother was chilling in the corner. It was just this like
Okay.
tall dark figure in it, and then it like went away or whatever. And then one time he comes home and the music, like there's a speaker and it's just blaring music. And he's like, what is going on? So blaring music, and then he like leaves the house and goes and like gets a neighbor and they like pray and whatever, and then it was okay, but he was like, what is going on? Like, I don't know what, demons are just chill. I don't know what's going on.
I don't
They
know
like
either.
Music, they like loud music.
I guess.
Know. Like speakers. They're just like,
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was, but I think they just if you like get scared of it, that's like putting energy into like the situation
Yeah.
that they can like feed off of.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess, because I think they would feed off of human fear.
Yeah.
I feel like that
Oh,
would
for
that
sure.
that would make a lot of sense. So
For
if their goal is to scare you, I mean that's like feeding them.
yeah.
But if you don't buy into it and you're just like you pray and you feel better and you go to sleep, then
Yeah.
it's like you're starving them of what they want.
Yeah.
So it's like they just mess with you a little bit, and then they get more powerful, and then once they start really scaring you, they get even more powerful,
Yeah.
and then they can show themselves.
Right.
Then you get really scared.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen anything. Oh, I take that back. Obviously, the whole I never saw like a shadow figure or whatever, but the whole like thing with that bathroom that one morning in my apartment, that was the
Yeah.
only thing I've actually
That
like
was weird.
seen.
I don't think I've seen anything really.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I've felt, I think, a presence.
Oh, yeah,
more
100
so.
100%.
I think feeling it's just it's heavy. And
Mm-hmm.
you said that when I was going to Hawaii with Josh, we flew from San Antonio to Vegas, and when we went through a couple areas. We were gonna try to go to some restaurants or whatever, and they had a friend that lived there, and so he was showing us around, trying to show us some of the the Strip and all the famous stuff. And so we went into a couple of casinos and stuff, and the whole time that I was in those casinos, like, it just felt heavy.
Yeah.
Like on my heart, it felt like there was just a weight.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is going on? And then when we would leave, like, we're just driving down the Strip, I felt fine, like everything was good. I don't know. It's just a very
Yeah.
I think it's a very dark place. I think
Yeah.
okay, I mean, haha, go gamble, whatever. I mean, it can be fun, I think, for a lot of people, but I think there's just I think it's very dark. I don't think it's
Yeah, I
You
wonder
know,
why
I
that
think of
is.
that place. Well, I mean, there's a lot of wicked stuff that I think goes on in Vegas. I think it's a very
Sure.
dark. I think it's you
But
could
is it
compare
only
it.
like casinos or is there other places? I mean, I guess like the strip clubs or whatever.
I mean, it was just. I think it was just the situation. Like the I think it was partially kind of the atmosphere and stuff, but like the smell of smoke and like the whole just the vibe of like when you're walking by people and there's just a very I don't know. It was a very
Yeah.
scumbaggy feel when you walked by a lot of them, and like you're checking your pockets the whole time because you're like, yo, somebody's gonna snatch my stuff. Like I don't know, it's just very.
And go blow
And
it.
I mean, I'm one of the I'm probably I was probably just being sensitive about it, but it just felt wrong the whole time that I was
No,
in
yeah.
there.
I think the closest thing I've gotten to that, we went to Whittier, Alaska.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, Whittier, Alaska
Oh,
is a
yeah.
town that's probably the size of like this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it was a port city in World War II.
Mhm.
And the good thing about it, as far as being a port city, is that it's on the coast, right?
Mhm.
But behind it, they're landlocked, basically. I mean, you have mountains that are just behind you. So the only way to get in and out of this city is through a tunnel that goes under the mountains. And
Dang.
at 10 p.m. and at 10 a.m., they open and close the gates. So after 10 p.m., you are stuck in the city. You can't get out unless you're either on a boat or you get airlifted by a helicopter. They don't have their own like fire station. They don't have their own hospital. So if you get hurt or like shot, you better get airlifted because they will not open the gates unless it's 10 a.m. and they won't let you out.
Wow.
So it's a very small city. There's just a couple of abandoned buildings, but there's one huge abandoned like hotel that's on sort of the top of the hill. And I mean, it used to be a hotel. I don't know, but apparently it's like one of the most haunted places in the world.
Jeez.
And we stayed in the hotel like directly next to this place.
Mhm.
And they've had like ghost adventures come in there, but the whole city, like you're going in, and I don't know if it was because Alaska is generally just very cloudy and just
Right.
so you go in there under the bridge. First of all, very long bridge, very long tunnel, extremely long tunnel. It probably took us 30 minutes to go through this freaking tunnel, and of course we weren't going like extremely fast, but still, very 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 long tunnel.
Right.
So we go in this place, and you can. I mean, as soon as you come out of the tunnel, you see the whole town. I mean, you just see it. It's like a little semicircle town. You come out of the tunnel. Here's the hotel. Here's the burned down hotel. You see a couple of shops, not even shops, a couple of like warehouses, and like some restaurants that nobody's ever heard of, and then the coast and a bunch of docks and boats. That's it. That's the whole town. And so, I mean, that's it. And the whole.
what did you eat?
We
At
ate
those
it like
restaurants, or
this
just,
this little fish fry place that was terrible. It was awful. Anyway, so we looked it up, and like there's so many like haunted locations in this one little concentrated town. And that whole time, I mean, as soon as we got into the city and like got in our hotel and started driving around, it did feel very like dark.
Yeah.
And it's like you're very close to like a black hole. And it's just sucking the life out of everything.
That's crazy.
You said it's like feels heavy. Black holes are the heaviest objects in the world because it's sucking everything in. It's becoming more dense and dense and dense and dense, and it's just like I think when people talk about like a void in their life, it's like a black hole sucking everything in. It's becoming more and more dense and just heavy in your gut.
Yeah.
So I think in a way, there's got to be some sort of correlation to that, like a heavy feeling. And then, you hear about people having like a quote unquote void in their life,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Josh felt the same way. He probably didn't. I mean, I don't think that they did.
Some people are more sensitive to it.
But it just felt it just felt wrong. Like the whole time I was there. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot of people compare Las Vegas to Sodom and Gomorrah, and just, I wouldn't necessarily knock that idea. I mean, it's just it's very dark. The whole, and there's good people obviously that live there, and there's a lot of, but I mean, it's just it's very different. I wouldn't necessarily say it's maybe as, I don't know, but it's crazy.
I don't know. I'm interested to see
town.
How what Sodom and Gomorrah would compare to like a city like Las Vegas today. That's a really interesting thing.
I think I think to compare them, it would just be so much different. Because I think today there's just so many other elements that you can bring into it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, at the time, I mean, it's just orgies everywhere, essentially, from what I can get.
Yeah.
In the Bible. I mean, it's just wicked. I mean,
Yeah,
people,
they did.
none of them were
They
good.
coined a whole term, like a medical term, for like raping somebody in the butt after Sodom and Gomorrah, like being
Oh, yeah,
sodomized.
sodomized, yeah.
Being sodomized came from Sodom and Gomorrah. Like if you ever watch like Special Victims Unit or whatever, like when somebody says the victim was sodomized, that comes from Sodom and Gomorrah. That's in the Bible.
Or 13 Reasons Why. But
That too. Yeah.
was that season...
I think that was season.
Was that season 1 or 2?
One.
2.
No, 2.
2.
Yeah.
I think it was the end of...
Yes,
was
it was.
it?
It was season
Was it
2.
the end of
Yes,
2?
it was. It was season 2. Because then he right after that he goes and tries to.
No. I think it might have been the... I can't remember. Because at the end of... No, you're right. It was 2.
It was 2.
Because then he pulls up with the...
He pulls up with
The
the
AR,
yeah.
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Nobody's gonna watch that show.
No.
So maybe I don't know.
That's a...
I know
That
you're
show...
into.
That's dark. Like
Very
that,
dark
the
show.
whole show, like, and it just gets darker.
Have you
And
watched like the whole thing?
I've watched all 3
Yeah.
seasons.
I haven't seen season 3.
which
Is it even
it's-
good? Is it even worth watch?
Depending. I mean, if you liked the show, maybe.
Did you like it?
I liked the first 2 seasons. Season 1 felt like, suicide. Like, and I don't want to like sound crazy or whatever, but I mean, I was just checking.
What's up?
Somebody fixed the rug. Sorry.
Okay.
Season 1 was like, it just felt. Like I said,
There's
just
people
felt-
that say that it
it
was
just
like
felt like,
praising
"Ooh,
suicide.
suicide."
I don't
It
really
felt
see
like that. It didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if it said praising, but it didn't feel like suicide's bad. You know what I mean? Season 2, like when you implement the whole court case and the way that her mom starts reacting, and then her parents split, and then you know what I mean? I mean, people are like struggling. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I mean, you watch Clay.
Yes,
Clayton,
Clay.
whatever.
Clay, yeah.
I mean, he can't even handle it. And so I think that the season 2 puts a different light on it. You know, I think it makes it darker. And at the end, too, they had, like, literally at the end of every single one, they had, like, a cast member that would, like sit there and, like, look at the camera or whatever, I think, if I remember right. Season 3 is crazy because then it's, like, the investigation of Bryce Harper.
The rape.
Because the investigation of him because he goes missing
Oh, he goes missing. Oh, okay.
and they don't know what
Yeah,
happens.
I'll have to check it out. That'd be good.
So I watched it and I mean, like I said, I mean it's good. I liked it. I think it just kind of grabbed my attention and I was
Yeah.
like, yo, I kind of want to finish it now. I don't know. I think they're probably gonna.
I
make
mean,
another
it's
one,
a
but
good like. It's not a good story, but it's a good story.
Yeah.
Like it's a good plot line. I'll say.
At
that.
this point, it's
a
like
good plot line.
Hannah Baker's really. Pretty,
However-
minimal. At this
However, I will say this: that is the most unrealistic high school ever.
point. Oh yeah,
All these people are friends.
yeah,
All these people, like, there's like an Asian jock, a gay Hispanic,
yeah.
a person that killed themselves, and then like a band nerd, and then there's Clay, who I don't even know what he's really interested in.
Clay
you know?
is literally just a stinking floater.
And all these people are friends.
Yeah,
No.
I know. Well, what I think is going to be interesting
High school is way more cliquey than that.
yeah. I think what's going to be interesting is in season 4 if they actually like think of the concept of like where everybody's at in high school because like right now I don't understand what's going on.
I don't know. Either.
I can't even remember who's like what class. I think Clay might have been a junior in this last season. So if they actually follow it, I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
But I mean it like a Smallville thing, you know what I mean? They've actually followed it, which
4
is
seasons,
interesting.
4 years.
Yeah, I didn't think
pretty
that
nice.
they would do that. Because sometimes you'll watch a show and they just hop around. You don't even know what
Yeah.
year it is for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, it's whatever. What are you gonna do? What are you
But
gonna
yeah,
do?
so-
Okay, we want to talk about, or I want to talk about the deep dark black web or whatever.
okay.
You've never been on there, obviously.
No,
I've never
you-
either. No,
I don't think
absolutely not.
You literally have to like destroy. Like you have to get rid of the like laptop or whatever typically, unless you're like a crazy hacker.
yeah.
But
To change your IP
typically
address.
You have to you have to like switch everything up. From what I've heard,
You have
'cause
to
it's
get
so
like a
crazy.
program to like switch your IP address every like 5 minutes or something.
That's insane.
It's nuts. It's wild.
I don't even know enough about the dark web to really discuss it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just
To
know
be
it's
honest with
crazy.
you, I just know it's scary and it freaks me out. Because there's some stuff on there, dude. Like, have you watched like videos about it?
A
Like,
little
what's
bit.
there's crazy, and there's like different layers, right? So like the deeper you go, the more like illegal it gets.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, like, is that worse than Sodom and Gomorrah? Like, there's literally chat rooms where you're watching somebody get murdered, and there's people that like are into that, like, sexually.
I think it's just, that's dark.
There's people that get off to other people being like brutally murdered.
Well, think about all the dudes that are like on there and watching like child porn through it.
Oh yeah, dude. It's insane.
Dude, guys, oh man, I think that the concept is still stands in prison, that the inmates will tolerate just about any crime, but like if you like harm a child,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you mess with a child, bro.
Yeah.
Like did you ever watch that show Alcatraz? That was out. It didn't last very long. It was only like a couple seasons, but it was like essentially there would be these ghosts from Alcatraz that would like start haunting and doing all sorts of stuff or whatever. Like they would like manifest themselves again or whatever. And one of them was a guy who was a child rapist, and I think they killed him if I remember right. I mean, just beat him until it was like.
Of course.
Because it's like a lot of those guys have a family, and they're like, I mean, yeah, I murdered somebody, I messed up, but like, you're touching kids like that? Nah, dude, you're done.
Dude, Dahmer was killed by a lead pipe.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jeffrey Dahmer.
People beat him up with a lead pipe in prison. But
that's insane.
That's wild.
No, I mean, that's what's so funny is like even these
the
dudes,
stuff that he was doing.
even these guys who are like awful people. I mean, you've got like dudes that have killed people just because it's fun, and they even have a code of they even have a moral code.
They do,
which is insane. Which is just
because most of them probably have kids.
That's what, yeah, which is true. I mean, I've even heard a little bit like they'll even go after guys who like go at women, like especially if they're really twisted with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing. I mean,
it's
they
cowardly
have
to do
wives.
that.
You know what I mean? Like,
you don't know what's crazy?
Rapists, I don't think do real well.
I'm sure. There's like a hierarchy of
I think
of people
thieves and like murderers are. I mean, you're chilling, whatever.
Yeah.
But if like you're out here like raping people and doing things to kids, and I don't think you last very long.
No, I don't think so either. Unless you're just freaking yoked.
Yeah, if you're
just
if you're just
6'6" and 400 pounds and just.
Yeah, and then there's a certain point where it's like, then you just have 40 guys.
Yeah.
Just beating the crap out of you.
Well, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Start a riot.
Yeah, I hopefully will never be in jail or prison to that degree.
I hope not.
And I definitely won't be doing it. I won't be getting in there for touching a kid.
Yeah, that's gross.
But yeah, that's wild, dude. There are people out there that just watch people get like dismembered.
No, I don't.
Like, how does that even become an institution where there's some sort of system where I don't know if it's the elites, I don't know if who is doing this.
Yeah.
But there's some like organization, or it's not organization, but there's some group of people that is pulling the strings on capturing these people.
Yeah.
Hiring an executioner, finding a location to do this, and then uploading it to a website that you need to change your IP address every 5 minutes. Who is orchestrating this?
I don't know.
And there's gotta have some monetary value in it. Like, how do they get their money? Is it like Twitch where you like donate or like subscribe to like these people? How does that work?
Are you okay?
I mean, I know how
Are you
sex
more
slavery
twisted?
works.
Are you more twisted if you're watching it or if you're doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like, is it more twisted to kill somebody on that live stream, or the fact that you're sitting there and you're like, oh man, this is cool? Like, that's freaky.
Well, like they've got, like I said, they have to have a monetary incentive to do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't post it online.
Right.
So they've got to be making enough money, but they've got to be. I mean, I'm sure that the upcharge or the cost of labor to capture and dismember someone on live television, basically, is a pretty penny. So there's got to be enough money in the business to keep doing it.
So
on
I
the
almost
scale
feel like
of
the person watching it is just so twisted.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the person watching it is just like,
Yeah.
I think that's pure evil.
I don't even know. It's so depraved.
Well, I think pure evil is also, I mean, you're willing to, just for, I mean, I get it. Like, okay, let's say it's $10,000, right? Say it's somebody offers you $10,000, you live stream it, and then you like, you know what I mean? That's just $10,000.
It's
You know what I mean?
dog.
Like, that's just not, and I mean, that might be low, that might be high. I don't know. If it's high, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, where's your life at that that's what you're willing to do?
You got to be at
crazy.
rock bottom.
Yeah, rock bottom.
Yeah. You know,
I mean,
okay. Go ahead.
I mean, thinking of, killing somebody is like, it's one of those things where it's like in self-defense. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? I think I'd kill somebody in self-defense, or like if somebody's trying to harm my family, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's just how it is. That's
Yeah.
going to be it's a different incentive. It would be a different kind of nature that would come out. But killing somebody for money or killing somebody just to kill somebody is like, yo, what? Like, how do you live with yourself?
I don't know. Yeah, I think if I were to kill somebody to protect myself or my family, I would sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Because I know.
Well, I mean,
that
sleep like a baby, maybe not, but like, I don't think I would have an immense amount of guilt.
I can't really. I've never done it, so I can't say. But I really feel like I would feel not good about myself, obviously, because it's not like a good thing.
Right.
But knowing that I did what I had to do, I did whatever it takes to protect my
I feel
family.
like you'd feel that more justified.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so again, there's got to be enough people in the market to keep it going.
How many? That's crazy. Like, think about this. You look at somebody, you look at your neighbor or something, and it's like, I wonder if he, you know what I mean?
That's crazy. Or it could be going on in his house.
I don't like that. That's whack, dude.
That's weird.
It's
very weird.
I wonder how many
strange times.
people how much traffic goes through a lot of those things. You know what I mean? Like,
dude,
through the
like I'm
dark
saying,
web
it's
and
got to
stuff.
be. Oh, I don't know. But okay, here's the thing. So imagine this. Imagine instead of watching it online, and again, you don't. This is like, 150 years ago. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have the dark web to go on and watch somebody get murdered. Your weekly entertainment was, the murderer down the street is getting hanged in public, so you go down as a society and watch this dude get hung.
Crazy.
You watch him die. A lot of the times, why they started putting like rags over their heads?
Why?
Because when they would hang without him,
Yeah.
with or without him, but when they would hang, generally they would fall from a high enough height to where their eyes would pop out.
Jeez.
And they're like, so it's a very graphic thing, and you
Yeah.
just, okay, we're gonna go watch the hanging.
Yay.
You bring your
Yeah.
kids down there, and you watch somebody hang by the neck till they're dead.
Well, I mean, okay, think about even further back. Think about, like, the Colosseum.
That too.
It's insane.
That too.
You had people paying admission to go into
watch
this place
people.
and watch people either fight to the death. Can I not talk?
Yeah.
Fight to the death, or not even have a weapon, and just get slaughtered by some lion or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is going
And
on?
that was like their circus. So you have that. You have, public hangings. Okay, and then you have, and this is a recorded thing. This isn't just like from Django.
Yeah.
Mandingo fighting was a real thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, and people watched these men fight each
Well,
other
I
to
mean,
the
think
death.
about-
Is that any different than the dark web, watching people get dismembered?
No, probably. I mean,
It's more graphic. It's more like taboo.
Yeah.
But is it really any different? Because the sign of the times,
Well, I
mean,
think that you think about, okay,
we've been watching each other kill each other for a long time.
yeah, I mean, you think about the concept. So there's that phrase, from that video or from that game. I think it's from Fallout, but it's like the war never changes thing. And I've gotten into kind of an argument, not an argument, but a conversation with a few people, and they were like, yeah, war changes. And I'm like, I don't think war changes. I don't think the nature of war has ever changed.
I don't think so.
And I don't think the nature of exactly what you're talking about, I don't think human nature is going to change.
Of course not.
Really.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I think when you think about war, I don't think that changes. I don't.
Why,
I mean, really,
why would? What
honestly,
do you mean, like the nature of war? Why would the nature of war change?
What I'm saying is, war never changes. That phrase, somebody said that's not true. was like, what do you mean? They were like, war changes. You know,
But
now
they're-
we're using
are they-
tanks and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but that's
okay,
not the nature
but
of
that's
war.
not
Yeah.
that's not war.
No.
That's the instruments that we use.
Yeah.
I think that the concept of war, and I think war has always been to conquer each other or to, you know what I mean. There's
Yeah.
there's other things, money or whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying. So I think that you're right. I think that in the same kind of thought, I
Yeah.
think that I think this is not much different
No.
than it's just now
Just a different.
we have more of a wait a minute.
I mean, basically,
That's wrong. You know what I
it's
mean?
basically
Like back then
you're
it was
live
almost like,
streaming like a Coliseum.
yeah, it's just weird.
You know, you're just live streaming
Right.
it, and it's
You're-
very
yeah.
illegal. So,
Could you imagine if they actually had, like, I wonder if that's somewhere,
Did that? I
like
don't
gladiator
know.
fights.
oh, I don't know. That's a good
Live
point.
stream a
I bet.
gladiator
I
fight?
bet. There's probably still mandingos going on.
That's just, dude. I don't
But
know.
okay, so
well, I mean,
here's
then you
here's
think
how I
about
would.
another
Here's
thing
how.
is like think about the KKK, bro.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, hey, let's everybody hop on your horses and let's go.
Let's go burn
You know
the
what I mean?
church
Like, I
down.
think that scene from Django where they're all meeting and then they start talking about like the holes cut in the eyes,
Which
and
is
stuff.
hilarious.
Which is a
Which
funny
is a
scene- which is a
great.
very funny.
Yeah.
Which if you don't
It-
understand that humor, you should probably not watch movies like that.
No.
It's not. I mean, it's not good. You know what I mean? Obviously. Like,
Obviously, the
but it's-
KKK is the
whole
worst
concept
organization.
of that set of humor, if you need an explanation, is to bring light to a
Yeah,
very
it's
dark
just
situation.
it's just a funny
It's
thing.
comic
Yeah,
relief.
comic
Otherwise,
relief.
it's like it's just this movie of
Very
KKK
yeah.
dudes running around and trying to kill
Yeah.
a bunch of It's
Okay,
crazy.
but back to the war thing. Here's how I would put it,
right.
and I would like quote that scene in Saving Private Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
where like, okay, you know, you have all these weapons of mass destruction. You have tanks.
Mhm.
You have, you know, rifles, pistols, machine guns, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you run out of ammo? You just gonna stare at each other and you know. You're just
Yeah,
gonna.
you
We're gonna. Okay, never mind. I'm out of ammo.
Oh, no,
Oh, you're out of ammo.
yeah, you
All right,
just
man. I'll see you
dap
later.
each other
Yeah,
up
I'll
and
see you tomorrow.
leave, yeah.
No. When you
No,
run out of ammo, you
hand to
there was that
hand.
one where the guy freaking he runs out of ammo with his pistol, throws his gun at him,
Yeah.
and then runs into like they get into like this knife fight,
Yeah.
and then with their knife they lose their knife. They're just like strangling each other.
Did you?
That's how they fought back then. They
Yeah.
fought with like sticks and rocks.
Well, and that's
and
what's
hands.
crazy. Is like you think about. I mean, you think about.
That's no
it,
different.
Hand-to-hand combat.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you fought for a long time. I mean,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The Spartans, the Romans, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just all sorts of. I mean, how do you think that centurions fought? They
Mm-hmm.
pulled up with AKs.
Yeah, no.
Like what?
Yeah, I don't
so,
think
mean,
the
I
nature
think
of
that
war changed at all.
that's-
That's kind of
no,
ridiculous.
I think that war. I think it's a correct statement. I don't think war has ever changed because yes, the instruments that you use have changed, and the fighting styles and the things. I mean, it's going to adapt, but war itself
Yeah.
has not. And
Yeah.
did you ever watch Deadliest Warrior?
Yes.
Did you watch that show?
Yep.
Did you watch the one where it was the U.S. Army Ranger versus some like North Korean special ops or something? Well, there's this scene where there's this part. You know, they would run all the different simulations. They'd run
Right.
like 10,000 or whatever, just
Right.
keep running it. And so they had this one part where like the ranger and there's one ranger and there's one North Korean guy left. And they're just fighting, right? And like he runs out of ammo, the American does, and the North Korean does or whatever. And so they end up getting into this physical altercation, and he ends up like fighting him, but as he's trained,
Yeah.
he keeps his gun in his hand,
Yeah.
his rifle. And so like the guy comes at him, and I think if I remember, he ends up stomping on this dude's foot, and then he just like whips him in the back, whips him across the face with the butt of the gun. I mean, it's like metal, and like even if there's plastic involved, like I mean this dude just met you with a ton of force. So I mean the guy's taken back, right? I mean, so North Korean's trying to recover, but I mean then he just does
Yeah,
what
it's
he
over.
wants, when pulls out a knife or whatever, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean the whole concept is like they had trained him, don't drop your gun,
Yeah.
which I think makes sense. But I mean, yeah, I can't remember exactly why. I think I was just talking about, you had mentioned the hand-to-hand concept.
Yeah.
And I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's,
Well, yeah, it's like if you put the same weapons that we have today in the hands of cavemen that fought wars over territory and food and
Right.
hides or whatever, I mean, they would do what we did in World War II or in Afghanistan. They would do exactly what we did. So it's like, just because what you have in your hand is larger or more destructive
Doesn't mean the
doesn't
war's
necessarily that the
changed.
motive behind
Yeah.
what you're doing is different. It's
Yeah.
not. How could it be?
Right.
Because it's not like we're a different species. We might have adapted over the hundreds of years
Mm-hmm.
or thousands of years, whatever. But, I mean, it's the same thing. People fight over stupid things. People fight over the dumbest things,
Yeah, dude.
you know? But,
Dude, oh my gosh. I don't even like the whole concept of like Troy. Dude, like, I mean, come on.
yeah.
The dude stole your girl. I get it, but like, you started an entire war.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
You started a whole war. You killed thousands of people for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it made sense. It's not like they really cared about their people. There's just everybody was expendable at that point. But,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
Tell you what.
talk about Achilles, dude. No, I'm kidding. That's crazy. If that dude actually existed, just I mean, obviously not a god, but like
Yeah.
he just was that good of a fighter. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean that's all they did. You think about that too.
Mm-hmm.
What
All
else
they
you
did is
have to
fight,
do?
yeah.
Train and kill people.
And watch public hangings.
watch.
That's all you do. Full circle.
They
what
didn't
we
even
do.
have Hulu.
They didn't even have Hulu.
They couldn't
No.
watch Smallville.
No, they sat in bathhouses and watched
Have you
people
seen-
get hanged.
Have you heard of the
Oh.
concept of like the bathroom? Like in my so my uncle got to go to Israel and they saw there was this one bathroom where it was like it's just this square, right? There's just like it's just a big like square room. There's just squares cut out and you go over and squat over it and take a dump, right? But there was water running. So it was like a toilet, right?
But
And
there's
it would
just
take it out and it would just sweep it out
Hmm.
and take it.
Nice.
So,
Not bad.
But also gyms back in the day, you went naked. Have you heard that?
No.
Like to go work out, they'd go to the gym and they'd be just butt naked.
Sick. Wonder what
So-
the gym bros back then were, if they had a gym bros. Like
But
just meatheads,
That's a
you
bigger
know?
reason why it was so easy to tell if you were Jew or not, because
Circumcised.
you were circumcised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if you were just like
Why would they do that? Why would I guess their clothes weren't easy to work out in? Probably hot.
probably.
Probably
I don't-
hot
I
and,
don't
like,
know
rough.
exactly why.
Probably like rough cloth. It'd
But
probably
that's what
give
I've
you like a
heard.
rash.
Yeah, I've heard that the gym you're just butt naked.
What would what was the like what were they doing in the gym back then? What kind of
Yeah.
workouts were they doing?
I mean probably similar like in regards to like
But they're doing push-ups, right?
yeah. I
Probably
mean probably
push-ups.
they probably had like pull up kind of some sort of pull up bar or something. I mean somebody had to have figured out, yo,
Yeah.
you do this and it works, you know what I mean? Like or I mean picking up heavy things
Yeah.
and I mean competitions like discus and shot put and running and all these things. I mean they were in the original Olympics
Yeah.
and stuff like throwing objects. So I mean you had to have just figured out
I bet
form,
they had, like,
technique and
Some sort of like kettlebell, probably. That's probably what I think. I don't know if they might. I don't know if they would have dumbbells.
well,
but
you know those
kettlebells
big
probably.
stones?
Yeah, the
The
Atlas,
Atlas
stone.
stones?
hmm That's
Sure,
what they were
that
doing.
was a thing too.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, those are ridiculous.
Those are nuts.
Brian Shaw
Those are
out
nuts.
here just lifting the biggest one, just like it's
You know what's at the center of an Atlas stone?
rock
Foam.
foam.
Yeah, like the floral foam. So this guy on YouTube
Wow.
took a 250-pound Atlas stone
Yeah.
and shot it multiple times with a Barrett
Right.
50 cal. It took him like
What's
two
his name?
shot. I don't know.
Is it the that Demolition Ranch guy?
I
that's
think
from
that might be
Texas?
the guy. That might
Okay,
be the
anyways,
guy.
go ahead.
Anyway, he shot Atlas stone with a Barrett 50 cal like
Mhm.
twice. First of all, he shot it with a lot of different things in one area, and it didn't. It barely made a dent. He shot it with like a 9, a 45, a Desert Eagle, a 223. I think he went to up to like a Remington 300 or like a
Mhm.
30-06 or 308. I can't remember. It was a 30 caliber, but he shot it. Even with that, it barely did anything. And then he pulled out the Barrett, obviously. Drops just a giant freaking chunk out of this Atlas stone.
Yeah.
Still doesn't get close to the center though. Has to shoot it again, and then it cuts it in half. But at the center of that, I guess they use it for like forming the stone at first.
Mhm.
But it's like some sort of like foam or like floral foam or
That's
some
insane.
sort of styrofoam. I don't know. But
That's
that's
what
at
I
like the
hate.
center.
That's why I hate Call of Duty sometimes.
Mm.
Because you hit a dude with a 50 cal from whatever distance.
He takes 2 shots.
And this man's just like, you hit him, and he just walks away. It's like, wait a minute.
It'd be a hole in your
Can
body,
we
sir.
talk for a second?
Yeah.
If that thing even remotely touched you, like if it just went, like the deer, like you were talking
Like the
about with
deer, yeah, that's the
you
craziest
were,
thing.
I mean, you were on the ground.
That's the wildest thing.
If you took one to the arm,
Oh God.
you're not moving.
No,
You're
well,
sitting
yeah.
there screaming like
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That thing
Yeah.
would just take your arm off.
Yeah, well, like we've said it before, but the whole deer thing. This guy, for some reason, wanted to hunt deer with a 50 cal, which is a terrible idea. But I guess it's one way to get a lethal kill. You can't eat it, but I don't know what you want to do.
I mean,
with it.
he could
There's
probably
no-
eat the way he shot it.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. It's a
Yeah.
it's a lethal. I mean, it's an ethical kill, I guess. But so anyway, he shoots this thing and it drops immediately. Okay. And so they walk. I don't know. It was probably like a 300, 400 yard shot. So he goes out, which is still a very long way.
It's a far shot.
It's a far shot from normal like deer hunting, but with a 50 cal, you can do it
Facts.
very easily. So they walk out 300, 350 yards, and it's like a doe. It's not even like a buck. It's just a doe, and they walk out there, and they notice that there's obviously blood coming out of like the eyes and the ears and the nose of this doe.
Yeah.
But there's no hole. there's no hole. So they watch back the footage of this thing in very, very slowed down or
Yeah.
very, very fast camera.
Yeah.
And so they're watching this thing in slow mo, and they can trace the heat signature of the bullet,
Yeah.
and they're like, it never touches the deer. It went right by the doe's head, and the vacuum shock of this bullet going by just sucked out the brain. It just scrambled this doe's brain, and just sucked all the brain matter out of this deer's head, out to the ears, the nose, down to the snout or whatever.
It's insane.
It killed it instantly. It had no idea what hit it, and the bullet didn't even hit it. It just went right by its head, and the vacuum from that bullet like going so fast, that just large mass
Yeah.
going right by you. So that's such a high rate of speed.
Yeah. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what did it.
though, is like, dude, imagine.
But-
like,
but
hitting
any
a
other
bear
bullet-
with one of those things. Dude, you know what I'm thinking? I just thought if you hit a bear though, that's the kind of animal to just like almost take it, like just kind of
Yeah.
take a bullet
Dude, I
like
don't
that
know.
and just charge you. You know what I
You
mean?
can
Like,
you can kill a grizzly with a 30 cal.
I'm sure
You can kill an elephant with a 30 cal.
Sure you can. I'm just saying, a bear, like they just have that like crazy,
I do.
like I'm gonna kill you instinct, and it's scary.
Where are you on the grizzly bear versus gorilla debate?
Yo, I don't know. I think I'm going grizzly bear.
100%, dude.
I think you have to. I think because they have the claws. But
Yeah.
gorillas are just so
They're just strong.
strong.
They're so freaking strong.
I think that it'd be a good fight.
Yeah.
I think you would sit there and be like, "Yo, that was like Brock Lesnar versus
You can't
who
even
was that guy that he used to like? They had multiple fights, and every time
Stone
it was
Cold?
just a freaking no. I can't remember.
I don't know.
It's on the tip of my tongue. But him and this one guy, they had multiple fights. Every time, it's just blood everywhere. They're both just sitting there like, you can tell that they're just both exhausted by the
Here's
end.
the
They
thing.
just
A
wanna
lot
die.
like the people that say it's going to be that the gorilla would win have said to me that it's like a really strong, just jacked dude against a really fat man. But here's why you can't say that. Because grizzly bears can run 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, this dude's fast.
He's an athlete. The grizzly bear is a freak athlete.
Well, okay. How about Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz?
I don't think
Andy
you can say that
Ruiz-
either.
Andy Ruiz is like a chubby guy, but he freaking put Joshua on the mat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is like
I see what you mean.
whether you look fat or not, like that bear has some power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
strong animal.
Sheer mass too.
Very strong
These things are
animal.
huge.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, you have more inertia as a bear than you do a grizzly, or than
Yeah.
you do
A gorilla.
a gorilla.
I
Also,
think-
you have these giant claws that are
what
5
I'm
inches
saying.
long. If they just go you're shredded.
Cut open,
I mean, you're not, and it's like
I think both. That's what I'm saying though. Is I think it would be a good fight though.
it's too many weapons.
I really think
too many
think
weapons.
that like a gorilla, just like the punches and stuff they can throw, nasty. I think it would be a good
Nasty,
fight.
man.
But I think that the grizzly would win.
Yeah, I think so too. If you're
How
saying
about
that
tiger versus a lion? What do you?
tiger, dude,
Tiger?
it's bigger. It's bigger and faster.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be a good fight too.
I think
though.
it's stronger too.
I think it'd be a really good fight though.
I think tiger would
Lions
just.
are huge though.
Dude, tigers are even
Lions,
bigger.
They're both scary.
Tigers are even bigger.
Yeah, but a male lion.
They're almost
is
like twice
freaky.
the size.
How
They're
about
huge.
I'm trying to think like a.
Do you think
trying
you
to
could beat an alligator up?
No.
Okay, so Frankie Alvarez.
I mean, if
He
you
says
set
that he
me up
can-
with like this proper like
No. Like you and an alligator in a room.
no, alligator beats me every time.
Okay.
Beats me in a death roll, I'm dead.
Okay, yeah, but here's what he was saying. He was saying that the only thing that you have to do is shut their mouth.
Yeah, but then it gets you in a death roll and you're dead.
Well, it can't death roll you if it can't bite you. So if you shut the mouth, like it can't death roll you. What is it gonna hold on to? So he was saying no matter how big the alligator is, like as long as you get behind it and like shut its mouth, like you can shut an alligator's mouth because it has
But
no
that's saying
force
that you
keeping
can
its
move
mouth
that
open.
fast. Those things are fast.
These things are very fast.
And their tails?
I'm not saying I could do it or
No,
you
I
could
don't
do it.
think I could do
I don't
it.
think I could do it either.
I don't think I
I'd be
could.
too scared.
I mean, I
that thing
think
would
it-
hiss at me.
I would poop my pants.
Yeah, that thing would.
Nah, dude.
I don't know how that
You
hiss.
give me
That's a
like a
great-
weapon maybe.
Yeah.
You give me like a sword maybe.
Ooh, a spear. I could do it
Like
with
a spear or something.
It has its mouth open. I just
Just like a long, just like a 3 foot,
Yeah.
like a long sword. Yeah, probably. But
Yeah.
nothing. Bare hands. No, I'm dead. I'm telling you right now, I'm dead.
That'd be a good fight though.
I'd try. I'd obviously. I mean.
Oh, that'd be
especially
a
if it's
terrible
like-
way to die. Getting eaten by an alligator. Did you see that one video? Have you
Do you
seen
think
this?
you could? What was I gonna say? I don't remember now. Sorry.
All right, this guy has I guess he's like a zookeeper, but he's throwing this like, just I think it's like a whole like cow leg. And he's just throwing it into a pit of alligators, and like this alligator thinks that that he's like close to it, so he bites this other alligator's like foot
Yeah.
and does a death roll and like just bites off his foot, bites off another alligator's foot,
Lord.
thinking that it's what this guy threw in. And he bites on and just spins like twice. Foot's gone. And
Poor
that's not like skin. That's like hard alligator
The
hide.
alligator's sitting there like.
Yeah, and it's just like, what did you just do?
You
You idiot.
That's oh my god.
That alligator's probably on the spectrum.
High key.
You feel me? Yeah.
High key.
100%. You were going to ask if I was going to fight something?
I can't remember now. Oh, do you think you could be like just like a monkey?
Beat a monkey?
Yeah.
What like a capuchin?
I don't know. Well, no, like like those monkeys that are not like super big, but like they'll keep them as pets. Kind of.
Oh,
thing.
maybe. I could probably beat that thing up.
I don't know. I probably, but. Dude,
I could
you
just
ever
rip it
see
apart.
gorilla? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, 100%. I will
I got
beat
the
its
gorilla
cheeks,
every time,
dog.
dude. I
Yo.
can't beat an alligator, but I can beat a
You
gorilla.
think you can beat up a
Yeah.
chimp?
A chimp?
Yeah, chimpanzee.
What's the chimp? What is?
Look
what
up a
is
picture of a
other picture?
chimpanzee.
I can't, dude. I don't know all the differences. There's so many weird.
I think a chimpanzee is like the monkey from Planet of the Apes. I think that's like the generic.
This guy. I think that's what I was thinking of.
Oh no! If that's what you're thinking of, then no,
You don't think so?
dude. That thing will kill you.
Those things are shredded.
That thing will kill you. It is so strong.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're not beating that up. No, nobody's beating up a chimp.
Ew, he's so gross, dude. What is going on with his face? Ew. Is he okay?
Might have disease. Have you heard of chronic wasting disease?
The who?
I don't know if it's chronic. Have you heard of what's it called? Something wasting disease.
Gross.
That thing will mess you up, dog.
No, that's like a super strong human.
Oh my gosh. Chimpanzees will mess you up. They're so strong.
Nah, bro. Have you seen those videos of like when a cat will like turn on a person, like a little like those like a domestic cat, like it'll
Yeah.
just like jump and like the video of that chick that's trying to get in the suitcase or whatever, and it jumps on her and she's just like freaking out. Dude, I'm telling you right now, if a cat ever did that to me, I would literally rip that thing in half.
Yeah.
Cats are not that strong. I would kill that thing.
No, you just grab it behind the shoulders and then its head and just.
Well, I mean, if it's doing that, I would literally just grab it and just throw it into a wall, and
Yeah,
the fight's over.
I'd punt it.
That thing
yeah.
would just hit the wall and be like, "Wait a minute, what am I doing?" Or it would jump at me again, and I'd just start beating it. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm so sorry if you
PETA, don't come
PETA,
after
I'm
us.
sorry, but I'm telling you right now, I look at that video and they're like, "Oh," and it's like,
Also, if we ever got a dog, and that dog was like coming at my infant child,
it's dead. No, but that's the same thing as like self-defense or like defending your family. Like that thing is just.
I would gladly Braden Mann that dog. If you don't know, I mean, you know who Braden Mann is?
I think so. Yeah.
He was the punter for A&M. He
just boom.
beat every punting record in college football.
Yeah.
He beat every call. He beat the I think it's 2018 punting record for like the NFL too.
Yeah.
Like he punted further than the NFL. I would Braden Mann that dog.
Cross the yard.
Yeah.
Nah, dude. One time, my dad walked out into the garage, and we were watching like my brother's dogs, and these things would get into these like brawls, and like they were literally going for blood. And there were these two little dogs. I say they were Chihuahuas. I don't even. If you own a Chihuahua, I'm sorry, but it's
sorry
a
for
rat.
you.
It's not even a dog. It doesn't.
No.
It's not a canine. It's some
No.
sort of rat. But anyways, so these things would just go for blood. So they got into this little fight, right? And my dad literally like, I don't know, I can't remember exactly how he did it. I think he like took like a 2x4 or something because he didn't want his hands in there. But he just like takes it and gets it in between them and just like chucks it up, right? And they just like flew like several feet in the air and then land back down. And they're just like stunned, and he just like grabbed them and just like threw them into a
That's
cage.
so funny.
But he had them like split. We literally had the cage split in half by like some board or something.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a big enough. We didn't have two cages or whatever, so we had to split it. So crazy. I was like, what the?
Oh,
what is
that's
I mean,
funny.
literally, they would draw blood.
Yeah.
It's two things, and it was just
Oh
like,
my God.
what are they doing?
You ever been bit by a dog? Like seriously bit by a dog?
One time, Sandy, I think it was just goofing around, and she like bit me, and well, she was like, she didn't mean to, I don't think, and she just like kind of like knocked me over and bit me, and I was like, what the heck was that? And she's just like, and I was like, okay, you're dumb, but anyway, no, not really.
My first dog Max was he was like a Wheaten Terrier like mix.
Mhm.
He was normally Wheaten Terriers are big, but he was like very very small.
Mhm.
So he was sitting on like the couch asleep,
Mhm.
and I was sitting on the ground with my back against like the couch,
Mhm.
and I guess he was out, and I like moved or something, and it woke him up, and he like bit me he woke up and just bit me on the ear. So you see this scar on my ear right here?
Yeah,
That's from that. He bit me and it cut open my ear.
and you punched him.
No, I was like 4.
You ate him.
Yes.
Y'all fried him up.
Yes. I grew up in an Asian household. We ate that
Taylor
dog, yeah.
got bit pretty bad. It was really close to
Was
his
Sandy?
eye. No. It was really close to his eye. We were at somebody's house, and this thing, like, Taylor, like, went down to pet it, and this thing just, like, bit him like this.
Oh.
And the crazy thing is, this dog had done that to a couple other kids.
Mm.
And so, actually, I think directly after that, or I don't know if we were there, but, you know, sometime surrounding it, the guy who owned the dog literally took it out back and like shot it. So
That's
and
rough.
It was almost like it was kind of bad because
I mean, you should put it down, but I think you can go to a vet for that.
right. But we were kind of getting looked at like it was our fault this happened, and we're sitting there like, okay,
No.
first of all, we didn't make the decision for you to go out back and just
Mm.
Chris Kyle this thing, but you know what I mean. And it's not Taylor's fault. This host
Of course not.
bit him on the face.
Of course not. Well, I had a family friend that I used to know for a long time.
Mhm.
Like me and this kid grew up together, and they had this dog, and it was a golden. It was not golden. It was a vanilla lab.
Okay.
The sweetest dog.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like princess to
Yeah.
a T.
Yeah.
Just lays around, doesn't do anything, doesn't like bark at anyone.
Yeah.
Will just like lay around, do nothing. They had no problems with her. She never barked at anything. The worst guard dog in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. And when she got older, I guess she wanted to. Yeah, and I don't even know if it's senile, but she became more and more aggressive. And I think what happened was they had new neighbors that had these two younger like Rottweilers, and they would get in like fights a little bit, like in between the fence. They would bark at each other through the fence. So I think that's when she started to get more and more aggressive. That's when it sort of triggered it. So one day, she's very old. She's probably like 14.
Yeah.
Old dog. Again, but even after all that, not aggressive at all. I mean, she barked at 2 new dogs that she made. So this old lady was walking her. I don't even know what the breed of the dog is, but it's like this little white fluff ball of a dog. Okay.
Like a Pomeranian.
It's like a Pomeranian, but like white, all white.
Ew.
So she's walking this thing on a leash down the street, and so I think. So Vanilla is the name of the dog. Vanilla sees this tiny little fluff ball and just books it. Books it to this dog with this old lady, like a very old woman, holding this dog on a leash, okay? When I tell you that Vanilla ripped this dog to shreds.
No.
To shreds, dude. Like, we're talking like we watched Vanilla grab a whole. First of all, this whole thing fits inside of its mouth, okay? Because it's a full-grown lab. And she's doing this, ripping it. So this old lady just is having this dog on a leash, just blood, fur, just this whole dog is just flying everywhere, and Vanella's just like laughing. And so after Vanella's done with this chew toy, she just trots off back into the house, blood all over her Vanilla coat, and this old lady's just screaming, oh my god, she's still holding the leash, just screaming. She has never like acted that way. No, it was a very sad thing. But
you wonder if that dog thought it was a toy.
Dude, yeah. It really thought it was a toy.
Not realize it was a
that dog never killed a squirrel, a bird, but it ripped. I mean, we're talking like very gory. Like we watched this happen. We ran out to stop it, but it was too late. The dog was already just in pieces all over the pavement.
What did they do to Vanilla? Did they put her down?
Yeah, the old lady threatened to sue, so they had to put her down. And even if she didn't, I think she was getting very old and
to take Vanilla to doggy court.
Yeah.
How do you plead guilty?
Rough. Guilty.
I would like to plead insanity.
The demons told me to.
They're like 25 to life.
Well, I'm gonna die in 25 days, Your Honor, so I'll take it. But yeah, they put that dog down. Very sad. Very sad. But I've never seen anything like that in my life.
So bad.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god.
This old lady's just holding this. There's nothing left.
You know what that made me think of? So one time I was at this birthday party, right? And this isn't even dogs. This is just like 2 brothers that were just mad at each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there and so imagine, I don't even know how to describe this really, but so I'm sitting on like a bean bag, right? And so I'm like kind of leaned up against it like this, and another guy's like kind of like I'm kind of laying like this, and he's kind of laying that way, but like our heads are close together, whatever. So we're just kind of laying there chilling, and this other guy is like, so I'm like this, right? He's kind of like backing over here on this like beanbag.
Okay.
Right. So imagine this, right? So we're all just chilling.
Yeah.
So they had gotten.
You're talking to the mic. How about that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
They were mad at each other for, I don't even remember why, but these 2 brothers, they were both kind of crazy, and just like the whole time, like we're doing stuff, and they're just like, they just want to fight everybody. It's crazy. So I'm laying there, and all of a sudden this guy comes into the, like, it was just like, like upstairs, just hang out, there's a TV, whatever. He comes in, and he just dives. And I'm not far from this guy at all. And so, like, I think I remember he almost hits me. He just goes right here. I mean, fist cocked back and just starts
How old are you?
swinging. It's in like 4th or 5th grade. And this kid just goes and just makes, I'll never forget, makes contact. I don't know if he hit him in the face, but he hit this guy and he just goes boom. And I remember I like rolled as fast as I could. I just like jumped out of the way because like this kid's right there.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna get hit somehow. So I like got out of the way and this thing just goes off, right? And I'm just sitting there and like I think they had to get pulled apart. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was insane. Just thinking of that, I was sitting there. I'm like, what is going on?
Dude, we had a so like I went to this camp, and this camp had like a this like room that was like padded. Imagine like an insane asylum, not an insane asylum, but like a
Like
padded
the-
room.
yeah.
Okay, imagine that. They had like that thing where like you balance on like a post or whatever,
Right.
and you can like hit each other off with like
Okay.
a foam like thing.
Yeah.
But everything was foam, so there's like, I mean, you could build like a fort in there and tackle it or whatever. So they would only let like 3 or 4 kids in at the same time. So
Right.
you would go in there and just beat the crap out of each other.
Just for
Okay.
like 5 minutes.
Yeah, so me and this kid go in there, but like we planned it out because he was talking crap about me, right?
Yeah.
I think we were in like 4th or 5th grade too.
Right.
So we go in here, and here's why I even remember how it started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this was my second fight, or this would have been my first fight because somebody didn't get out in a game of knockout.
Right.
Kid stayed in line after I got him out.
Yeah.
Okay, and everybody saw it, and everyone was like, you got him out.
Yeah.
He stayed in line. So I would later beat another kid up for doing that in 7th grade, but this happened in like 4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah. But so he did that, and it was like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna whatever. It's just a
Yeah.
game. So we go to this room or whatever. I'm about to throw down. So we get in there, and we just kind of like stare at each other, like, you know where this is about to go,
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we start like wrestling or whatever. So we start wrestling. And this kid picks up like the thing that you like normally hit people with, right? Because he had pushed me down and he picked it up.
Yeah.
So while I was like getting up, I see him
Yeah.
with this thing, and I wasn't a very large individual when I was in
Yeah.
4th or 5th
Yeah,
grade, and
well,
this guy
probably
wasn't
not.
either. But I mean, we were about like the same size. We're very small people, very
Right.
just little people.
Little
Okay.
dudes. Yeah.
So he tries to hit me with this thing, but it's a very heavy thing
Yeah.
for a 4th grade.
So
It's
he
just
kind of
dense.
gets like a little.
So he's just very slow with it.
Yeah.
So I roll and take his legs out with like my roll.
Yeah.
This kid falls straight on his face, instantly bloody nose. There is blood everywhere. They won't let anyone in for like the next 3 days because they have to like sanitize it. So it's
So
like
you
not
won.
like I like
So you won.
I guess, but it's like I didn't like hit him with like a rogue punch. It was just like I rolled away from this giant freaking
Did you get in
foam
trouble?
thing. No, they were. I mean, they didn't know we were like
yeah.
actually fighting.
Well,
They just
yeah. What are they gonna do about it? Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, but I sweeped his legs and just boom, instantly nosebleed, blood all
So
over
funny.
the blood all over the place.
So funny.
It was great.
Oh my goodness. Kids.
Those were the
dude,
best
people,
days.
dude.
Those were the best days. You think
Never
there's
been
going to
in
be a
fist
little?
fight, actually.
Oh, I've been in 2.
I've
Well,
been in,
one.
I've been in like little wrestling matches and stuff. I've never actually been in like a fist fight.
No, I've been in 1, and it was the 7th grade because this kid didn't get out in knockout.
Yeah.
And you know how bad it was? It was so bad. We were both just like flailing.
Yeah, that's what's funny. It's like you don't know how to swing. It's like
No.
I kind of wish
No.
I had learned sooner, and understood, learned and understood the concept of like boxing.
Hopefully my kids don't get into fights, but you know, if there's a little part of me in the back of my head that's like, if my kid gets in a fight, I want him to win.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure.
I want him to win.
I
Like
mean,
I'll be very upset at my child if he beats a kid up. I'll be like, dude,
I mean,
you can't.
if he
you can't
defended
do
himself,
this. That's a different
it's
thing.
the same
That's a
thing
different
that
thing.
me
I'm
and
just
my-
saying over
yeah.
just like a turf war, and you're just
Me and
fighting
my-
just to fight.
my dad always told all of us. He said, "Look, if you're gonna fight, make sure you're defending yourself."
Yeah.
And he said, "Make sure you win."
Yeah.
were his words of advice. So, I mean, he said as long as you, and this is another thing that we always live by. It was like, I'm gonna trust you, bless you. I'm gonna trust you until you don't. Jeez.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna trust you until you give me a reason to not trust you anymore. Is pretty much what
Yeah.
my parents lived by, and so I mean, really honestly, Lord. So I mean that's kind of just how it was. Lord.
You feel me?
Bless you.
Thank you.
So I mean yeah, that was kind of what he lived by, and so then
Not bad.
I mean it was the same thing. I mean when he was a kid, the principal told him because he was really small.
Yeah.
So the principal told him as long as you never pick a fight, you will never get like SWATs because that's back when they could do that. So it's kind of the bless you. So that's kind of the whole thing is like yeah. I mean if my kid is like defending himself,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything.
But forget all that. Let's just say it's not even about defending yourself. It's
Right.
just like a turf war. There's a little part of me that's like,
Beat the crap
did you win?
out of him.
But
Yeah,
did you win though?
Did you win? Give
You
him
might
a
be in
dap
the,
him
you
up.
might be in
Dap him
little,
up a little
you
bit,
might be
though?
in like this much less trouble
Yeah.
from me.
No, I mean if it's a turf war, yeah, no for sure. I'd be mad, but like
Okay, here's what I've said this on the last episode, but here's what I want to do when I buy a house or a lake house or whatever.
okay,
I want to
make a fighting room.
Yes. I haven't decided if I want to make half of my garage, like put weights in there like y'all have,
Mm-hmm.
or I make like a second like guest house,
Mm-hmm.
and half of it is a weight room and half of it is like my office, but slash where we record the episode. And here's why I would put it outside, because if we wanted to have like a cigar outside, I wouldn't want that to be happening in the house.
Yeah.
Because you need to like ventilate that room
Right.
specifically for cigar smoke.
Right.
So I'd put that outside.
Yeah. No,
So
I
if
get
we
that.
came over and recorded a podcast, and
a pod coast.
had a glass of whiskey here or there, nibbled on a cigar, that would need to happen outside.
Just take a
Just take
bite
a bite
chunk
out
out
of
of it.
Just
Yeah.
like a Snickers.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good idea.
Anyway, I think we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I got to register for classes in like 3 hours.
Sucks to suck.
You feel me? You know what I mean?
How many classes?
4, I think.
Do you know what classes you're registering for? Do you have
Yeah,
that
I have.
mapped
I
out,
have
or you
the.
just-
I have the workshop. I already like did the pre-registration thing.
Oh, okay.
So I already. I mean, it's like.
Yeah.
I think I should be taking like dynamics, material mechanics. I don't know. I don't remember all of them, but hopefully I'll be done with all my math by this semester. That's
Sick.
if finals go
I've been
well.
done for like 2 semesters now. This is my second semester with not a single, and I think I'm done with English now, and I don't think I have any more like history. Essentially at this point it's like, because I have a business minor, so it's like stuff like that, and then it's I have like next semester I'm taking 2 other prerequisites, and then I just have like all this science and kinesiology and stuff. So
Are you gonna have to take business, Cal?
I don't know. No. Well,
Probably
anyway.
not if it's a minor. I don't know. I don't know how it all works, ladies and gentlemen, but thank you so much for watching and listening. Go follow us on the Patreon. Go become a patron at patreon.com/The Throne Room. We've got 3 tiers on there for you.
Throne Room.
It's amazing. It's Throne Room.
Throne Room.
Yeah. Also, go follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And where can they find you?
HotchKid73.
That's
On
where you can
Instagram.
find him on Instagram, on Insta Wiener, and then obviously you know where to find me from the Throne Room's Instagram. So go check that out. Again, we got interesting things coming out about our first sponsor of the show. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be dope.
Throne
I'm
Room.
going to just have so many different liquids coming out of my body when that happens. We might have to cut that in post. Oh wow.
It's.
Oh. Anyway, subscribe.
Crackhead
Yeah,
hours,
subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. It's time. It's bedtime. It's nighttime. Okay,
bedtime,
it's
bro.
bedtime.
Different.
You feel me? You feel me? All right. I don't know.
Good night. Good night. Bye.